Alright, so we are back for another beta cast, and this time we happen to have a game between Old Nosy and Adivassi. Adivassi is our newest beta tester alongside Heesh and Pool for version 9.0, so let's get right into it. We are in Gror's Valley, and on the upper right hand side we have Adivassi here playing as Misty Mountains, going up against Old Nosy, playing as a Mordor. As you can see, Mordor is going to be going for that 4-farm start. And up here, we have Adivassi doing the same. Now, the biggest change, really, about Misty Mountains is that Goblin Caves are currently costing 300, and we decreased the price from 350 to 300 just to give them a little bit more of a bounce in the Goblin spam. And honestly, the Goblin spam is pretty intense. In a lot of testing cases, it is almost too intense at 300, so we're thinking whether or not it could be 325 because it is just terrifying, the Goblin spam, it really is. So we all know how Adivassi plays in Misty Mountains, and he plays it extremely well. So that's basically going to be dependent on the player as usual. And another thing we did for Misty Mountains Goblins is that we have adjusted the anti-poison strength for the Moria Orc Archers and gave it a 5% bump. And it seems to be doing pretty well. Orc Warriors are costing 90 as well now, so we've increased the price of Mordor's spam. We got 2 strongholds with what looks to be an Easterling garrison coming in from Old Nosy. Okay, so 4-farm start with 2 orc strongholds and an Easterling garrison. Interesting choice there. Adivassi looks to be going for the 4 Goblin Cave strat, maybe. It's something he's been doing a lot of just to show how dominant the Goblin spam can be right now at the cost of 300 for the cave. And we have the Orc Warriors moving on up. First forward tunnel dropped over here by Adivassi. And he's not going to run into the wargs. Thankfully, the speed of the goblins are going to allow for them to get out. And we should see this farm going down. Nosy having to pivot, go back to the base. Yep. So look at how clean that is. It's just nice to see that. And Cracks of Doom. Another thing we did with Cracks of Doom is that we've nerfed the damage simply just by 1. And it essentially does not kill spam anymore. It doesn't kill the cheap units. It just basically gets them to low health, and it's been pretty healthy. And what do we have here? Anything in the Easterling garrison yet? We do have Variogs already on the field. Another change we made for Variogs is that we've simply increased the recruitment time by 2 seconds just to slow down the pressure a little bit from them. Okay. Tunnel's full. He's evacuating again. So he's only got 1 forward tunnel so far, but it's still pretty good. And Nosy over here with Orc Archer support for the Warriors. The way that Nosy's kind of set up his base is pretty solid because he's not allowing the goblins to get too much harass in since this initial farm is protected quite well. Looks like we have another tunnel trying to be dropped over here. Could be another tunnel right here. We see 2 Misty Mountain builders right now. And it looks like Nosy got caught by the wargs there. So yeah, I mean, the Goblin spam is heading the field roughly a minute faster than you would think with the price decrease. Because you're not having to wait for 350 resources, but 300 resources pretty much gets the Goblins out in the field a lot faster right now. And it looks like Nosy's going to lose a builder maybe? Nope. Okay, he's making another farm real quick. Is he going to get on top of that? And yeah, he's definitely going to get on top of that. Adivassi's over here. Cool. And we see Nosy coming up over here on Gror's Valley. But he's yet to really get on top of Adivassi's starting farms at all. He's done a pretty good job of keeping Mordor busy. And he gets another farm. Possibly he's going to get the builder. Maybe the poison's gonna get the builder. Maybe. Nope, he ends up building. Okay. Goblin's gonna get that farm. Nosey needs the Nazgul really quickly here, I would say. Just to help with a little bit of crowd disbursement, but we have 4 orc strongholds happening right now from Mordor. Another tunnel did come out here that we saw earlier, and I don't think Nosey's gone for a tunnel over here in that corner at all. I'm sorry, not Nosey, Adivassi. Looks like he's at risk of losing both of these farms. I know he kind of just made this one because he could possibly be losing that one, so why not? That's just going to take the economy space. Let's take a look at the spell book. We got 6 points here in the bank for Misty Mountains. Fell Wind was the choice. And Cracks of Doom used again here by Mordor. Power points quite even right now, but we got 6, almost 7 here from Mordor. And right now we got the Mountain Orc Lodge coming in as well from Adivassi. And he happens to see the Nazgul hitting the field. Now Nazguls have received several nerfs. They've been under some extensive testing just to make sure that we make them feel good, but they're not too dominant. But even when Mordor has map control, they're still quite valuable. It's just they're not as immediately out the gate too dominant. You still need to have really good control for them. So they've had a cost increase, an experience tier change, some trample change, and speed change as well. They're no longer faster than your average mounted hero, but they're the standard speed, relatively speaking. But there is, like I said, there's quite a few changes with them. It's a hero that we are always thinking about whether or not we need to dial it back, but in most Mordor games they show to be very, very valuable still, even with all the nerfs that they have gotten. And Mordor is at 10 points now in the bank, so they could be going for Slaves of Nirn. Okay, we just had Felwyn used over here, cool. And Track and Secure with Uncle. Okay, so Nosey is pivoting to the left side of the spellbook. Okay. As you can see, that was a good example of the Nazgul's deceleration kicking in right there. It's not going to be the sole thing you need anymore. You're going to need at least one, maybe even consider cataphracts. But they are very valuable even with the nerfs, as I've said. 625 CP for Mordor, 875 for Misty. So here we have They Are Coming. A big change we did with this power is that instead of 6 Goblin Warrior battalions, you happen to have 4 Moria Orc battalions with a Troll Destroyer spawn, and which has Dominant Troll at level 3. So you have the same thing that the old guys get, and this Troll also has Attack Troll armor. And the tier 2 summon is very valuable. It's pretty good. And we did buff He is Gathering All Evil to him. We adjusted their health, and we gave them better trample deceleration. Just keeping in mind how the Nazgul nerfs have been. We wanted that cavalry summon to be a little bit better. We did not want to give them a 3rd battalion back in the summon, just because if anyone remembers earlier patches, then clearly that was just too much, having 3 battalions of the cavalry in that summon. Okay, more Mountain Orc Brutes are here. 900 CP for Misty, 650 for Mordor. Looks like that troll's going down. And we have an Easterling garrison at level 3. So here's the thing right now. We see Old Nosey going for the cataphracts. Now, best bang for your buck for the price, despite the lock. It's very cool just to see this unit considered even more with the Nazgul nerfs. Something that we are keeping an eye on, though, of course, is their general performance. We did nerf overall cavalry damage, as I said on the last beta cast. And something that we did notice is that specifically their deceleration could be better. They they seem to decelerate a little bit decently here. A little earlier than you might think, but we're looking to maybe consider improving that. Okay, Nazgul dismounted now. It's another thing that we're seeing a lot more of is mounted and dismounted Nazgul switches. You're not always going to want to keep them mounted per se. And Mountain Orc Brutes did get a buff. They got a damage buff recently. They did not get a price decrease, but we found a damage buff to be more appropriate if you just simply consider the strength of the Goblin spam. Adivassi is going into the tunnel. And right here, we do have the worm lair. Something we did for Misty Mountains is that we actually gave Brood of the North a fortress heal for worm lair units. So you can take your fire drakes and your cold drakes and go back to the fort before they get their passive healing at level 3. And you can just heal them up. Because they are expensive, so they could use a little bit more competitive value and have that option similar to how like Mahud Gathering level 3 gives you Mumakil healing, and or another change we did for Mordor was Great Beast of Gorgoroth get level 3 Siegeworks healing. But yeah, it's cool to see because we're just trying to make the worm lair, you know, a bit more comfortable competitively to use. We have the Lesser Dragon Summon active. That one has just gone off. And Nazgul does have Terror access, but we're not seeing Nosey use it. Cracks of Doom just dropped it in front of the tunnel. It's got to be a little bit rough. Okay, it looks like Mordor's backing away now that the Lesser Dragon Summon has come out. One thing that we did is that we have increased the cooldown on it by 30 seconds. Needs to clump a little bit better there. Okay, Mordor really coming down here on Misty Mountains right now, pushing them back. Adivassi's kind of got... Adivassi has to get some more pressure here on Old Nosey before Old Nosey ends up in a position where he's in the lead. We do see tier 3 coming in from Mordor at this time, though. 14 points, about to be 15. 800 CP to 1,000 CP of Misty. 12 points here for Adivassi. So let's see. Level 2 Worm Lair right now. He's probably going for the Cold Drake. Oh, he's already got the Cold Drake. Wow, I just didn't even see that, to be honest. Okay. So yeah, the Cold Drake is on the field. The Cold Drake did receive a unique experience set because previously it leveled just too fast. So that's a change that the Cold Drake did get. And we happen to have Mouth of Sauron here on the field. If you could take a look, he's got that new art that we showcased a bit ago. Now, one change that I did not mention at all for heroes in the mod is that we have adjusted the hero dodge rate chance. We have also adjusted how much heroes heal by wells, and we have removed the aggressive stance bonus for speed from heroes and monsters. So that's a very big change in how everything sort of interacts with each other. And it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how people kind of feel it out when the version does release. But yeah, so heroes no longer get this speed boost on aggressive, and neither do monsters. Dodge rate change has also been quite big on hero value. Pretty cool to see Cataphracts though, casually, not gonna lie. And again, they do have some of the best damage for a cavalry unit in the mod, which is why, again, they are rather gated. Cold Drake about to be level 2. We just heard the Weirworm. Okay, so over here, a change that we did for the Weirworm is that we did increase the duration by 5 seconds. This is to alleviate the occasional targeting issues that the Weirworm has, but it just gives it a little bit more emphasis. Okay, Nazgul at level 6 almost. where I'm going back over here, we see Easterling archers. He's got the barbed arrow upgrade too. Very nice. And Mordor did go for Shelob. 975 CP for Misty. 1000 CP for Mordor. Coldrake is level 3 almost. 2 orc strongholds gone. Looks like he's got 1 left after the initial 4.
Looks like
Shelob's here. And where is Shelob actually going to go to, though? What is Nosey trying to use this for? I don't see Misty having a hero on the field right now, so I think he's just trying to clear the spam. I think he's just trying to get rid of some of the spam. Relentless Pursuit. Ooh, yikes. Easterling archers just spaded that. And that's because, if I'm not mistaken, Easterling archers have slash damage when they get the barbed arrows, and the Coldrake's slash armor is not as good as its pierce armor. Right now, we did just see Adivassi here lose a building, so Adivassi's kind of being pushed back right now after suffering a blow up on the front line like that. And Coldrake is coming back out. Okay, level 3 Mouth of Sauron, level 6. And Golden Axeman coming out here again from Nosey. So we haven't made any changes to the Golden Axeman. Another thing to note really about the Cataphracts is that even with the stats they have the fastest recruitment time of an elite cavalry unit. So that's pretty good. They recruit, I think, in about 25 seconds. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 25 seconds. Coldrake back on the field here for Adivassi. Shelob is just expired. Okay, neutral stance. Easterling archers. Let's see what happens when the Coldrake tries again. Aggressive stance. It's got minus 20% armor right now. And he sweeps on most of the battalion right there for the archer. Pretty good damage from the Easterling archer. That shows you the slash armor value really on the Coldrake. Typically pierce armor is just exceptional on it, so knowing which archer gives you slash is pretty important for Coldrake engagements, to say the least. Ooh, the Cataphracts run right into the pikes. Unlucky here for Old Nosey. And we have another hero here, and it's Urshak for Misty Mountains. We also decreased Muzgash's Iron Discipline speed bonus from 33% to 25%. We are universally looking across the board at speed bonuses in the mod, keeping that in mind. Let's see what's happening here. Nazgul, Malthasar, just trying to hit off that brute battalion. Now, I don't know. We've yet to see Adi really go back to the fortress to use the Brood of the North healing, but maybe he will later. And Nazgul could use Terror. Wait, I'm sorry. Oof. Skill issue. I just thought that was the enemy. I don't know why. Skill issue moment. Holy crap. Anyways. Back over here. Muzgash only level 3. Mordor's kind of got hold of the center. Dark Sorcery. And Easterling Archers actually look to have nuked Urshak very quickly. He had 2 battalions. Again, right now we're seeing some flank damage value from the Easterling Archers and the aggressive stance armor debuff. That's something that you have to be careful with. Man, look at that damage from the Easterling Archers. This is without Drummer Troll. And this is also when they're debuffed by Urshak briefly. I think, if I'm not mistaken entirely, there is no damage component to Urshak's debuff. I have to take a minute to think about and look at that again. But it's been a minute since I remember. I think Urshak is only a speed debuff. I don't think he's got a partial damage debuff attached like other heroes do. AotR, another thing we did for the AotR is that we have increased the damage output, so it's better. It can drop heroes a little bit more. We happen to see that, you know, units are dropping despite this just being spam. But we did increase the damage output. And Mordor pushing Misty Mountains quite harshly right now. We see Adivassi's 2 points away from a tier 4. Are we going to see the Lesser Dragon Summon nuke the Easterling Archers, or is he going for the pikes? Real quick, he's got to be careful. Eye of Sauron's buffs as well. Again, 33% damage, 50% armor, and immunity to terror, earning experience 50% faster. So as you can see, that bonus really contributed to the Cold Drake going down even more. And we just had the air coming used, okay. So yeah, again, Easterling Archers are very nasty when you get them onto the field in a decent number. And they are dropping right there. They're dropping the troll. It's tough. Adivassi's got to be really careful here. Variog's on the right-hand side. And Durin's Bane popping up. Okay. And Easterling Archers get knocked back. So let's see what Adivassi does here. How aggressive is he going to be? And that's just a regular Nazgul. Is he going to get... Yep, okay. The Balrog whip kills the Nazgul. Banner Carrier trying to stay alive here with the battalion. And are we... We are not going for the Cold Drake again on Adi's part. Level 1 Lodge. So yeah, he's not teching at the moment in this game. He's basically trying to do spam pressure in tier 1 units mixed with the Worm Lair for value. Nice. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's see, what are we going to have here? We're going to see an Ignite with a little Breath Fire. Nice, okay, level 2. It looks like it's going to hold. No, it's definitely going to go down. Okay, Easterling Pikes going up that way. Okay, let's see. What is Adi going to continue doing here? Is he going to get another Easterling Garrison taken out? Because if he gets this level 3 Easterling Garrison, it's going to be big, but I don't think he's going to actually have the lifetime for it. I think he's going to be out of here soon. Does get it down right towards the halfway mark. Gets it underneath the halfway. And Durin's Bane is expired now. The one mistake Adi made here, as people can probably figure out, is that he didn't make Wolf card. And that's something that I would say, in my opinion, cost him the game, because he didn't have enough cavalry to sort of work around the Easterling Archers. Golden Axeman with the Indomitable ability active here. Weirworm is almost back. Now again, 1,000 CP for Misty, 8 points in the bank. Wow, Mordor's got 7 points, tier 1 available. Shelob almost back as well. Cataphracts on the field here for Nosey still. Another thing we did for Misty is that we found that Mountain Orcs didn't provide enough of a reward when you were killing them originally, so we increased their experience tier to be between the weaker end and the elite end, so now they're in the middle and they're providing adequate reward now. Another thing we did here for Misty too, I don't think we're going to see it this game, but I will say, is that we've removed the entire lock on Mountain Giants behind Brood of the North. So you're limited to 2 for Mountain Giants before buying Brood of the North, and then Brood of the North raises that limit to 5. But we wanted Mountain Giants to be more present in the faction, and right here you can still see the damage from the Cataphracts being quite good as a level 3 tunnel. Let's see Urshak over here trying to fight back.
Looks like our
Shelob just dropped here. Easterling Archers casually just nuking at the Goblin Cave. I think it was an 8.0. Believe it or not, there's like a scaler added to their upgraded damage against structures, just because it's slash damage when you upgrade their attacks. So it's something it's something that had to be done, just because it was very effective. Okay. We're gonna see Stinger. Stinger was already used on something. I don't know what, but it was used. Ooh, we got Forged Blades too on the Cataphracts. Very nice. Okay, level 2 Worm Lair going down. So yeah, Nosey's gone for upgrades. So we also didn't happen to, actually no, it is here, I'm sorry. So Slaves of Nern and Industry are now 200% for the economy value. They're no longer 275, but they are 200% now. And it has shown that you have to be more conscientious about your choices in games. You can't just purchase everything like before. And it's been very good to see that. Urshak goes down. Okay, yeah, Adivassi played this quite well. And I think Nosey just kind of went with a very different approach that Adivassi was not expecting, to say the least. And it looks like a GG here. But yeah, got some really good changes for Mordor so far, and some very good changes for Misty Mountains. And both factions are doing quite well. Like I said, Misty Mountains Goblin spam is very frightening. So we're having to take a second look at that. And Mordor's Nazgul have become more balanced with the nerfs that they've received, given that players have a lot more control, since again, Delay Fix has shown that you're able to do all these different things in a very precise way. And it's easier to control everything, so players need to be more attentive at times to heroes and monsters, and that's why we're making the adjustments we are making. But yeah, thanks again. I hope you enjoyed that cast between Old Nosey and Adivassi. It was a good game, entertaining game for sure. But yeah, there's more changes to come. And again, anything you see in beta is not final. So thank you.